How does China deal with natural disasters? Well, poorly and well. Don't come in here, you're wasting your fucking time. Okay, there's one branch. Ah, that's what I need right there. No. No, 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 no. Okay. Oh dear. Why is it that people don't believe me? You're gonna have to put up a f***ing barrier. That's what I'm gonna do. How do you like my homemade barrier? Are you? I just put that barrier there for a reason. No. 不能进去. See what I mean? Like, what's the point? There's a freaking barrier there. Dude still tries to sneak in. Ah. All right, let's make the barrier bigger then, shall we? Good morning, guys. It is the day after this massive typhoon hit us, and it was quite serious. You know, I've been in China for 13 years now, almost 13 years. And during this time, we've had a couple of typhoons. This is probably the second time it's been this serious, though. Most of the time, it's actually fairly anticlimactic. You'll hear a lot of hoo-ha about it, there'll be a lot of preparation, and then it just fizzles out. But this time, as you can see, by just some of the destruction behind me, I'm walking on the road because the sidewalk is completely blocked. Wow. You know, like big trees have been uprooted all over the city. It's actually not very safe to be walking here, to be honest. Any of these could fall down at any minute, and the wind is picking up again. But I wanted to show you guys what it looks like, because if I don't go out now, in the next day or two, most of this will be cleaned up. And that's something that China's really good at, is sending in the peeps to clean things up. Now, the reason why I said China is good at dealing with natural disasters is it has probably one of the best communication systems in the world. And by communication systems, I mean everybody in China uses a smartphone. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, oh, but that's no different to the rest of the world, right? Like, everyone has a smartphone these days. No. When I say everyone, I mean everyone. Street sweepers, grannies, you know, the kind of people that, let's face it, in the West, people that are old or people that are in a very low economic position, they don't have smartphones. They can't afford them, or they think they're weird technology that they can't adapt to. But because China's a recent adopter of smartphones, I think they started getting them in here like mainstream, sort of early 2000s, really. Although obviously they did get them a little earlier than that, but I think when people started to embrace phones was the early 2000s. I mean, I was here when this big boom happened, but far after the West. So it's kind of a new technology. Everybody jumped on board, and everywhere that you look, people are on their phones 24/7. People complain a lot in my videos when they see it. They say, how can people be on their phones, you know, all the time, like phone zombies? I know that it's the same in the West in a lot of aspects. Man, there's a lot of destruction here with these trees. And the thing is, you just haven't seen it on the same scale as you have here, because here in China, literally it's become social norm to ignore everything and everyone around you and just hang around on your phone. This guy's obviously here to prevent people going into the park. I chose to come here this morning because out where I live is kind of a concrete jungle, and there's not a lot of foliage and trees. And this park is one of my favorite parks. I can't get in now, it's shut off. And, you know, I thought I'd come here just to take a look, and I wasn't disappointed. You know, like all around me, you know, there's just carnage. All these trees have been ripped apart, ripped to shreds. Anyway, sorry, getting back to the whole phone thing. Oh, rain's picking up. Smartphone usage is ubiquitous here. Everybody does it. And what happens is, before a big event like this typhoon, an emergency text message is sent to each and every person. And Seriously, like, so you don't even need to have like a payment plan or anything. You'll get this message. So of course everybody gets the messages to tell them to be safe and to prepare water and do whatever else, which is great. From that point of view, China's got the rest of the world beat. And I must say, even during the height of the typhoon, the cell phone networks didn't go down. It's something I've always bigged up about China, is its cell phone network. It is, without doubt, the most robust and far-reaching network in the world. You know, I travel around China to the rural parts, up in the mountains. I do these motorcycle trips, and I can always find a signal, like even up in the mountains somewhere, and the signal's always pretty good. Whereas, you know, when I was doing my road trip through America, very often I'd just leave a town or leave a city and I'd lose signal and be out of service. I mean, look here. There's an entrance here to the park, but it's completely blocked off with debris. All these trees have fallen down. See, there's a guy already there trying to clean it up. These guys are going to have their work cut out for them. You know, in particular, each park will have their own set of workers. This place is called Honey Lake Park. And I love coming here because it's one of the better looking parks in the city. It's one of the more modern ones. And it's in a posh area, so it's kept up really well. Anyway, these guys are going to be working non-stop for the next couple of days to clean up all this mess. Okay, so back to the emergency response stuff. So the early warning systems are great here. People, of course, constantly during the typhoon yesterday were sending WeChat moments, little videos that they're capturing, so you could see, you know, the severity of it. Unfortunately, people were also sending a bunch of fake stuff. I mean, showing us clips from like disaster movies and stuff and claiming that that was happening in Shenzhen. So you get a lot of fake stuff too. But it's good to be able to see what's going on in certain areas, and it discourages people from taking the chance of going out. So this whole communication system is an absolute boon when it comes to this kind of thing. But now we got to talk about the bad stuff. Road signs, knocked down. This whole lane, like, it's supposed to be for cars, but there's no way cars are getting through this. So I'm safe walking here. Yeah, you see some cars down there backing out. I guess they thought they could take their chances, but you're not getting down here. That's for sure. Gonna have to take another route. Okay, I gotta get on to the bad stuff. The bad stuff is that it seems like a lot of people don't take the warnings seriously. And also, there's this huge problem of money being God in China, money being the most important thing in the world. And as a result, you'll get bosses forcing people to go to work on days like this, days like yesterday. And that almost got me killed. And I'll explain that in a minute. All right, so the first part is people don't really take it seriously. So, you got all these massive typhoon warnings. Don't go outside. You know, whatever you do, it's really serious. People still go outside. They're like, oh, yeah, see here the cars are having to back up. Come on, dude, you can't go in there. Don't be silly. Go around. I'll leave them to it. So, you know, the reason why I know that people are going outside yesterday is because I went outside yesterday, and that is where the second part of this nonsense comes in. Okay, you know, Hong Kong is right next door to Shenzhen. They issued their like highest level warning, black or red or whatever it is. People are not allowed to go to work. It's against the law. People have to stay at home. Children are not allowed to go to schools. Everything is shut down. And here comes another one trying to come down here. He's gonna decide that he can't do it? Yeah, can't do it. Sorry. Gonna have to back out. You're not getting down here. Anyway, If there was a chevron around here, I'd stick it over there to warn people, but there isn't one. I'll keep an eye out. Maybe I can do that on the way back. Okay, anyway, so the thing is, in Hong Kong, you're not allowed to go to work. In Shenzhen, however, despite all the warnings and all the sort of hype and all the nonsense, bosses will still force their staff to go to work in a lot of cases, and one of those cases being my wife's work. Now, she works at a clinic. It's not an emergency response clinic, you've got to understand. It's not the kind of place that has to be open during a typhoon, because all they do is treat people with like colds and fevers and, you know, like sort of give immunizations to children and stuff. It's not like there's no surgery there. There's no kind of emergency treatment that happens there. Just very basic level GP stuff and some Chinese traditional medicine. Now, luckily, it was not her shift. All right. But the clinic actually demanded that. Wow. See here, we've got one of the security camera sort of poles here. It's got a transmitter and all that stuff that's been trashed by these trees. Oh well, guess they can't keep an eye on me right now. Anyway, her colleagues were forced to go into work, and the boss was like, okay, look, it's a typhoon, so you can have a half day. But, you know, they get to work in the morning when the storm's picking up, and this storm starts to hammer the shit out of the place. Here, I got some footage from yesterday, and it was serious stuff, you know. Glass was breaking, windows were breaking, houses were being flooded. As you can see by all the carnage around me, lots and lots of trees were being knocked down, people being trapped here and there. I'm fairly sure there were fatalities. I saw videos, and I'm not sure if they're from this one. You see, you can't really trust those videos on WeChat. Could be from some other time, but I was seeing videos of trees falling on people and killing them, and, you know, all sorts of nasty stuff. So, yeah, it was hectic, right? Then my wife gets a phone call at around about midday, because now the half day is finished. And her colleagues have forgotten to take the keys with them to lock up the place. They got like a kind of an electronic remote key thing. So they asked my wife to come and bring the key. I'm like, are you joking? It's, you know, it's a bloody typhoon. It was at the height of the, at the bloody height of the typhoon. And she's like, they can't leave. It's an emergency. They have to leave, but they have to lock up. And I'm like, there's no way in hell that I'm allowing you to go out there to give them this key. So give me the damn key. I'll go. You see, we don't live very far away from her clinic. On purpose, I moved close to her clinic so I could keep an eye on her because of all the security threats from the nationalists who are cowardly and threaten my wife instead of me because they don't like my opinions. So yes, I live close to my wife's work for that reason, so I can get over there quickly. Wow, here's another big massacre. Let's take a look at this. That's a big tree. Let me get out of the way. Yeah, that's a big tree. And looks like it's really done a number on that footbridge. Yeah. Anyway, like I said, wind's picking up quite a lot here. Hang on. Like I said, we live quite close to where her clinic is. And they know that, her staff, the staff members, her colleagues, I should say. So they were like, hey, bring the key so we can lock up. And she was getting ready to go out, and I'm like, there's no way I'm letting you out of here. So I took the key, I put on my raincoat. I got a pretty good one for riding bikes in the rain. And I head out. I gotta tell you, this is why I know there were other people standing at the door of my apartment wanting to go out, but they were looking at what was going on outside and they were like, nah, not happening. A lot of them turned back, which was good because it was insane. The winds were throwing chairs around and all sorts of crap. And what would happen is you get a massive like huge powerful gust of wind, and then it would kind of calm down for like a little spate in between, and then it would pick up again, and a huge gust of wind throwing all sorts of debris, trees were falling down, you know, all sorts of crap. And so I waited for one of those little reprieve things, and I ran. And I ran through this ridiculous amount of crap. A tree branch flew into me, luckily a small one. And I got to her clinic and handed the key to the guy through the window. But on my way back, it picked up again, and it actually like knocked me to my feet. I slipped down, I fell down on the floor. And yeah, I had to get up and run. I made it back. It was very close. But you see, this is the bad part of the whole way that China deals with emergencies, is they don't take it seriously enough. Money is still more important to everybody. And it's not just, you know, my wife in the clinic. It's the girls that are forced to work in the 7-Eleven. It's the people that are still trying to deliver food in the Typhoon. It's stupid. Like, I just don't get it. Anyway, I'm going to head back this way because that way doesn't lead anywhere. And I cannot gain access to the park. It's the whole reason I came here. As you can see, they've taped off all the entrances, and there's actually security guards walking up and down, preventing people from coming in. I guess it's quite a big massacre in there, and they're just worried about people getting hurt. Anyway, so you know, that's the appalling part of it, is that places like Hong Kong and Macau and any other sane, civilized place nearby, they all make it mandatory that you're not allowed to go to work on a day like yesterday. But in mainland China, the bosses still force their employees to go and put their lives at risk. And, you know, also put my life at risk because I had to go bloody deliver this key. And, you know, the funny thing is, the boss of the clinic said, you guys can have a half a day, no problem. But the employees ended up getting stuck because by the time the half day was finished, the underground metro system had shut down because it couldn't operate in that weather. You know, tunnels had been flooded and things like that. All the buses had stopped working. No taxi would pick anyone up because they were too afraid to drive anywhere in this weather. So they actually ended up getting stuck for the entire day, huddled around in a, you know, in a restaurant until sort of midnight, when everything had calmed down and a friend of theirs could pick them up. So her colleagues got stuck. So what was the point of that? They came in, there were no bloody patients, obviously, because the weather is like, if you walk out, especially someone who's sick or frail, would just get picked up and thrown into the air from this ridiculous amount of weather. No patients. They have to go in the morning, risk their lives, risk my life because they don't have a key to lock the place up, and then at the end of the day get stuck for the rest of the day and not be able to go home. So that's the bad part of the way China reacts to these sort of natural disasters. Rain has stopped. There's another thing, and that is, I have to say it, but the sort of building codes are not up to scratch. And we saw this when we had the big Sichuan earthquake and so many people died because all the buildings collapsed. And, you know, because things like this typhoon don't happen very often, it's not really taken into account when it comes to city planning and buildings and things like that. So it's kind of like the Chinese cities get caught with their pants down whenever something like this happens. Drainage is also a massive issue. You get massive flooding in the cities because the drainage, you know, the drainage systems are inadequate. And even if they are designed correctly, they're usually clogged up with crap because people just dump all sorts of nonsense into them. Yeah, so anyway, that's it for this one. Just want to let you know that both myself and my wife are safe. And as long as a tree doesn't fall on me on my way back to the metro station, which is running again, like I said, things get back on their feet really quickly here because you've got a massive workforce. So I'm on my way back to the metro to head home, and everything's good. Thank you for all the messages I got from all of you guys about the typhoon. I really appreciate it. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the city cleans itself up over the next few days. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, guys, I'm off. Let me navigate through all this crap. And I'm going to go try and find something to put over there so the cars don't try to come in. Don't come in here. You're wasting your fucking time. Okay, there's one branch. Ah, that's what I need right there. No. No, 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 no. Okay. Oh dear. Why is it that people don't believe me? You're gonna have to put up a barrier. That's what I'm gonna do. Put up a damn barrier. Prevent people from coming in here. Don't come in here. Let's see if they're still going to try come in anyway. No. No, 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 no. Okay. See if I can get another. I know they'll still try to sneak past anyway. Thank you. How do you like my homemade barrier? Are you? I just put that barrier there for a reason. No. 不能进去. See what I mean? Like this. What's the point? There's a freaking barrier there. Dude still tries to sneak in. Ah. All right, let's make the barrier bigger then, shall we? This problem in China is unless you make it impossible for someone to do something, they're going to try anyway. So annoying. Maybe if I do this, then it's buggers won't try to get through. See, they're still trying. My barrier is growing. Go past. This guy. Absolute turd. Anyway, like there's a reason why I put this up here. You saw before. People would be going in there and then stopping. And other people would be following them close behind. And that's definitely a recipe for disaster. So at least now, hopefully nobody will try to go in there. They'll skip past. Thanks for indulging that last little bit there, guys. Anyway, stay awesome. I'll see you in the next one.